A4.
Hello, hashtag Verse TV family, and welcome. First, I must say I absolutely love that intro song. Aaron Mack, job well done. That is phenomenal. Anyway, yeah. And that's also a song that I love by Janelle Monáe. Anyway, we'll get to that one week. But hashtag First TV family, welcome. It's week 252. A4. I'm Aaron Mack, and thank you for tuning in to hashtag Verse TV, sticking with us through all of the ups and downs, and you are appreciated, like the Tupac song. And I will start off with the randomly selected question. And it doesn't show us clearly, but what about song lyrics? That's kind of funny, given that I had just spoken about that instrumental track. And I was like, Aaron, job well done. I don't know as far as, well, I could use that to segue into my song choice of the week because it is what it is because of the fact that I love the lyrics. I also love the instruments and the melody and her vocals and everything, but not yet. So as far as lyrics in general, and that's also today's underrated hype TV is going to be a good, special, significant, substantial lyrics for me as well. And that's why it's one of my favorites. Yes. But as far as lyrics in general, what about song lyrics? I think, and I'm huffing and sighing because it's like that is this is the serious stuff. I think the music industry has sort of gotten to the point that they do acknowledge, oh my gosh, get away, that people don't care as much about the general music buying public doesn't pay as much attention to lyrics as they should would could. So and that has been for years. That is not just me throwing shade at Gen Z by any means, because you know I see a lot of what they're doing, but I'm millennial, aka Gen Y, and I've got to admit, I remember seeing somebody talking about the lyrics of a Backstreet Boys song that we used to love when we were kids. And he was like, honestly, it was written by Max Martin, and no shade to Max Martin, no shade to foreign born people. My love is foreign born, but that's another story. Anyway, but he was like, yeah, Max Martin doesn't didn't fully understand the English language very well. So the lyrics that he wrote for the Backstreet Boys, when you pay attention to them on a particular song, they were, I can't think of it off the top of my head, but on that particular song, it was like he said, quite frankly, it was nonsense, because but people love the rhythm and love the vibe, and loved the song, and I think it was a #1 hit for them, or at least it was a big hit for them. And he's like, honestly, it made no sense when you really look into the lyrics. But what about the lyrics? Because it's, I don't think that was the start, but people are learning that. I don't even want to say that. So my song choice of the week is, as I said, it's a special one. This week we're doing the slightly older, and it's 1989 by Betty Wright, and the song is called Keep Love New, and it's from her album For You to Enjoy. And that came out in 1989. And she talks about keeping love new in the song. And I love songs that are about maintaining relationships, working together through things, not just throwing dudes away like I used to do. That's what I used to do. That's what I used to do. That's the old me. I'm different now. But she's talking about working through relationships with your partner. Keep your loving new, and I used to have a falsetto range, and maybe one day I'll get it back. But she did the falsetto range, and she's like, girls, don't forget to do your hair. Guys, don't forget to open those doors, and it's just a beautiful song. And it connects me to a video that I saw of former First Lady Michelle Obama, Queen Michelle Obama, yes. And she was talking about how it's important to pick your partner well. Pick well. And that way, upon the difficult times that you have to work through, you'll be able to work through it because you'll remember and you'll see that you picked well. You didn't just pick just because. You picked well. Anyway, it also reminds me of something that I saw some time ago talking about 777. Every seventh day, in other words, weekly, when you're in a relationship, every week, go on a date with your partner, and a simple date. And every 7 weeks, go on a special date with your partner to like a fancy restaurant or something, a special date. And every 7 months, go on a vacation with your partner. And all of that ties to keep your love new. Keep your loving new. Anyway, I'm not quite getting the note at all. Like that Janet Jackson song, Runaway, when she was like, didn't quite hit that note. That wasn't such a good time. Anyway, but yeah, and I was just talking with my best friend on the phone yesterday, about Whitney Houston, because we're both huge Whitney fans. And how years ago I saw Whitney Houston in an interview, and she was like talking about somebody, and she didn't name the person because of course she has class, right? But she was like, I just don't understand. How are you singing flat on the album? on the album. And she wasn't talking about Janet Jackson. She wasn't talking about that little part. Nevertheless, Whitney was like, there are many people out here who try to sing and they do not have it. And she's like, how do I listen to this entire song and you're singing flat for the entire song, not just a note like Janet Jackson was like, didn't quite hit that note, not just that note. How are you singing flat on the record? Anyway. All right, hashtag Burst TV family. We are Keep Your Lovin' New, bright and brand new. All right. Like, share, subscribe, share again. Please do not forget to click like. Here we go.
Hashtag pain, pleasure. Hashtag visionos, yahoo.com. Hashtag VerseTV A4A. Text. Yahoo Tech. Laptop. Quote, can't wait to return. The Vision Pro, probably the most mind-blowing piece of tech I've ever tried. Can't deal with these headaches after 10 minutes of use, though. End quote. Why some Apple Vision Pro owners are returning their headset. Mark Anthony Ramirez, February 15th, 2024. My recent ode to the Apple Vision Pro might need a bittersweet update. Some users are already returning their headsets due to, well, getting sick of them. Yep, The Verge reports a wave of disgruntled early adopters sending their $3,500 marvels back, just as the 14-day return window draws to a close for the earliest buyers. While the headset has drawn considerable praise, it's no secret that there are plenty of less than enthusiastic opinions as well. Users blame various ailments on the spatial computing headset, turning their initial love affair into a tech breakup. Let's dig a little deeper into this emerging trend and see if the Vision Pro's honeymoon phase is officially over. Is it just a case of early adopter woes, or are there fundamental flaws lurking underneath that sleek design? Article continues below.
Fundamental flaws underneath that sleek design. So, I love gadgets. I'm a gadget man. I don't even need to pun. I don't. I'm 40. I don't need to pun on such silly things. But I will say that I'm a gadget man. I love new technology and everything and learning how it works and all of that. And I will say, T-Mobile almost caught me. Like they pretty much caught me, but I didn't fully take the bait, or I was not entrapped in the net. But they caught me on the fact that, yes, I'm 40. I'm 40 years old. 40, and I love the Galaxy Fold. And at the start of my reading Ramit Sethi's book, I Will Teach You to Be Rich, before I'd gotten deep enough into it, I fa- had fallen in love with the, what is it, Pixel Fold. And I wanted that Pixel Fold, which is a, you know, people talk about Apple being so expensive, and yeah, it is. But yeah, Android's right on its tail because the Google Pixel Fold is going for about $2,000. And I had fallen in love with the Google Pixel Fold. And I was calling T-Mobile, like trying to see, well, what can I do to be able to get the Google Pixel Fold? I'm so thirsty. I need the Google Pixel Fold. Please, sir, can I please have a fold? Ma'am, can I please have a fold? And I remember one of the women that I spoke with about that when I was like thirsty, desperate to find a way to, like, what can I sell? Can I sell a pint of blood and get a Google Pixel Fold at an affordable price? And one of the women I spoke with, she was like, "Oh, darling, how old are you, sweetie?" And I could tell that she was sort of asking me that because my thirsty desperation to keep up with that brand new phone is kind of like something a young 20 something would do. And when I told her I'm 40 years old, she was like, uh, uh, well, I guess we could sell it to you for like $8,000 plus a gallon of blood plus rights to. Well, we can sell it to you for if you sign our 360 deal. You know, it's like, oh, really? Okay. Any and all money that you make from here and on out will be paid to us for that Google Pixel Fold. And it's just like, oh, right. Since I was reading that book by Ramit Sethi talked about how, one, he's not a fan at all of financing devices. He's not a fan of financing cars. He's like, don't do that. Just if you can't pay for it outright, don't get it. And that sort of spoke to me, and I was like, oh, wow, okay. And he also, in the book and on his show, because I do watch his show, yes, on his show, he has spoke. I remember he had a couple on there, and he was analyzing their finances and trying to find places to cut corners and things to cut out so they can actually afford their hundreds of thousands of dollars of debt that they're already in, or something like that. And they got to the cell phones, and he was like, really? Do you need to spend $200 per person in your family on your cell phones? And the family was like, well, what should we do? What other company could we go with, Ramit? And Ramit was like, do you all watch my show? Because he's like, I often promote Mint Mobile. I have links to Mint Mobile on my page for you to join Mint Mobile. And one of the benefits of Mint Mobile is instead of paying $1 million a month for a phone and financing, and then paying an additional 900,000 for your phone bill itself, with Mint Mobile. So I will be honest about this. I was with T-Mobile. I'm still with T-Mobile for my watch, $10 a month, and I'll hold on to that. But for my phone, I was paying $129 a month. about 130 a month. And I was like, yeah, I guess that's wild and stupid. As I'm reading Ramit's book, and I'm like, yeah, I guess I don't need to spend that much on the phone. And I went with Mint Mobile. And guess what? I'm now paying $150 for 6 months of service. 6 months. So once every 6 months, I'm paying the price that I was paying T-Mobile monthly. Now, T-Mobile does a lot of cool things, and I'm not trying to make this a hate on T-Mobile video. I'm just saying. And again, I'm a techie, and I entitled this video Pain and Pleasure, or Pain Pleasure, because in the article, it spoke even in the beginning of the article, but spoke to the fact that people are experiencing headaches and pain wearing the Vision OS goggles. And it reminded me of how when I got the iPhone XR, which I still use, but deactivated. But whenever I would activate the iPhone XR, for whatever reason, it would hurt my body. And it didn't matter the carrier, because I bought the phone outright and I switched from carrier to carrier, and it would still do the same thing whenever it was activated. And I called the geniuses at Apple, and I pun on that because it's called the Genius Bar. But I called them on the phone, and the woman was like, "It hurts your body. What in the world do you mean? I have no idea. Nobody's reported that. So I don't know what we could change. Sorry. But I don't know. Maybe you need to see your doctor." And I was like, oh, wow. Okay. So they're just not going to help me. And ultimately, that led me back into the arms of Android. And I also experienced pain with Bluetooth things. And years ago, because again, I'm a techie, so I love keeping up with stuff. But years ago, I read that there is a group of people, myself included, who actually experience pain wearing Bluetooth. And I was like, oh, wow, no, I guess I can't have the marvelous earphone, that Bluetooth stuff. And, oh, well, you know. And in the article, they also theorized that maybe the $3,500 price tag is just to get the strongest lovers of Apple to be a part of that trial, that first test run. And the article also discussed this man who wore his goggles not during the wedding, because the man said, to respect God and my wife, I'm not going to wear them during the wedding. But during the reception and everything after the wedding, he wore those goggles. So apparently they didn't hurt him. But I'm sort of hoping that this is the kind of thing to get Apple to no longer recommend seeing your doctor when you complain about the pain, and actually make effective changes, especially, and I'm concerned about this, but especially with cellular technology moving toward no longer having corded options. Because even right now, because of I have a nice Bluetooth set somewhere here in the house, but I can't use it because it hurts me. And I got the new one, and I was like, yeah, Bluetooth 5 will be just fine because it's improved, so it won't hurt me anymore. And it's like I wore it, and it didn't hurt like the older Bluetooths hurt, but it did make my brain feel like I was swimming. And I'm like, okay, eventually I had to give up with that. And I was like, I guess it's not where it needs to be. Hopefully, people taking these phones back, not these phones, but these Vision OSs back, the goggles, will make people make actual change that can help. Because again, as far as moving in the direction of all Bluetooth, everything, I can't use Bluetooth. So that would really stick me in a very uncomfortable place. And I know, as I read years ago, there is a group of people who have trouble with Bluetooth. And apparently the latest Apple technology, I don't know what it is, but it's not just a see your doctor kind of thing. All right, hashtag Verse TV family, share, subscribe, share again, and please do not forget to click like. Here we go. All right.
Hashtag for future husband, heart, heart. Hashtag motivation at tonight's conversation. Hashtag Verse TV A4B. Text, what motivates you the most in life?
Okay, so I've got to get a little Whitney here because, and this is actually one of my favorite albums by Whitney Houston, but when she stayed with Arista Records for the time that Clive Davis left Arista Records, and she stayed with Arista Records with Andre Harrell, I think, and the album she released at that time, Just Whitney, has a song on it called Tell Me No. And yes, there are many people who try to tell me no, and Whitney says, and I'll show you I can. And I connected also with, as I brought up last week, Michael McDonald's song, I Gotta Try. Because in my MS is what it is. I remember anyway. But yeah, MS is, it can be a challenge. And doctors often tell you to just give up. Just give up. You might as well just give up. And I remember my response to that is, I gotta try. Also from Starship, I love the song, Nothing's Gonna Stop Us Now, because it's like, I can't give up, can't give up. Tell me no, and I'll show you I can. Tell me no. And Michael McDonald said, they say it's a hopeless fight. Doctors tell me that I might as well give up, but I say I've got to try. And Starship said, nobody can stop us now. Nothing's gonna stop us now. Nothing's gonna stop us. Nothing is gonna tell me no, and I'll show you I can. Got to keep going. Yes, there are some people who just count me out, and the doctor who diagnosed me being one of the early adopters of counting me out people. And she, at the time that she's a neurologist, she diagnosed me with MS back in 2010. And she said, all right, Aaron, so I am going to give you the MS diagnosis. So you'll probably want to go ahead and quit your job now and just start living on disability. And I was like, really? Is that what people do? And fortunately, thank God Almighty, hallelujah, I actually really enjoy my job. And she said that, and I was like, no, I don't want to do that, especially considering that at that time, I was still walking, running, swimming, jumping, all of that, So I was like, I don't want to just quit my job just because of what you're telling me. Tell me no, and I'll show you I can. Tell me no. I've got to try. Nothing's gonna stop us now. Those are my songs, okay? And as far as motivation, what motivates me, I am motivated at my thought of me showing that, yes, I am living life in spite of, I am not giving up, in spite of the doctor who told me I might as well just give up and quit my job and just live on disability. In spite of those things, I am still going. And I'd like to think that what I am doing will inspire somebody particularly because I think about at my barber shop, one of the barbers he's not my barber because, once you pick a barber, you pick your barber. But he's a barber in the shop. And I remember he asked me, he was like, so when were you diagnosed? And I'm like, what? What does he ask? How does he know of my situation? And then I remembered, oh, well, I did tell my barber of my MS diagnosis. So maybe that's what he's speaking to. Unlike those people who were like, can I pray for you? Anyway, but yeah. And I told him, and he was like, yeah, I was diagnosed in the 90s. #Verse TV, no. I'm not sad. I'm not in a brand new key. Not gonna cry. I'm not going. Anyway, but yeah. So yeah, he was diagnosed in the 90s, and he's still up cutting hair, and he inspires me. And I would like to think that my not giving up, my still going, just like he inspires me, I'd like to think that I inspire someone too. Paying it forward. Let's all pay it forward. Yes, we can. Yes, we can. Yeah, and when I speak of positive things going on in my life and stuff, it's not so much to brag, because trust me, of the people who tell me no, their feeling is that I have nothing to brag about. But as far as anyone else who might think that, it's not to brag, but it's hopefully to inspire people that, yes, we can. Don't give up on yourselves. Don't give up. Yes, we can. And yeah, I do acknowledge there's a fine line to walk as far as not giving up, because I think about Michelle Williams from Destiny's Child, when she was engaged to her partner, and the backlash that she received because they were going to try to do all sorts of reality shows on their engagement and all of that. And I saw Michelle Williams in an interview with Terrell Grice, and she was like, I think Terrell asked her a question about her relationship, and she was like, no, 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 I am not doing that again. At first, I did try to be forthright with my relationship with my partner, but I was doing that because I wanted to inspire people that, yes, you can find love in your 30s. Don't give up on love. And people took it the wrong way and hated on her and such. Anyway. All right, hashtag Verse TV family. Like, share, subscribe, share again. Please do not forget to click like. It helps the algorithm nation. We are a part of an algorithm nation. Anyway, yes. All right. And
Hashtag underrated hype TV A4 Dream. Miss you. At underrated hype TV. Hashtag First TV A4C.
I have loved that song for years. That song actually came out, the album, Dream, It Was All a Dream, their debut album on Bad Boy Records, came out the start of the last semester of my senior year in high school. Came out January 2001. And I remember I was so excited about that album and Dream and everyone. I was like, and this is so silly of young people in general, but I was like, Dream is going to be the next Destiny's Child. Yes. And it's like, Destiny's Child was still the next Destiny's Child, but that was just ridiculousness of me. And no, not just ridiculousness of me, but young people are just so, what's the next big thing? You know? Also, I will say, while the women of Destiny's Child were all 81 babies, except for Michelle was 80. Everyone else is 81. The women in Dream, well, at that age, girls, but the girls of Dream were 84 to 85. So it's like we just skipped over 83 and 82. And I remember kind of feeling like it's like the music industry is saying I'm already past my prime and I'm still in my teen years. But just like myself being like, is Dream going to be the next Destiny's Child? People are just always on to the next, on to the next. And it's kind of like how a friend of the family told me right after I graduated, 45. Well, I have a limit, but he told me right after I graduated, he's somebody who works in the music industry. He's like, acknowledge that there are industry execs out there, and he knew that I wanted to that I would sing or whatever. And he's like, just acknowledge that there are people out there who will sometimes sign you, give you this outstanding, jaw-dropping, it's not called a bonus, but it's called an advance to sign with them just for them to deliberately shelf you so you won't compete with the artists that they already put a lot of money in. So, word to the wise. Also, as far as the lyrics themselves of this song, now 2001, of course, my mom was still alive. She passed away in 2006, January. And I think that was around the time that I particularly connected with this song. And I would actually change the lyrics to, when they would sing, I miss you like crazy, I miss you being my baby, I would change the lyrics to, I miss you like, and this was while I was in college. So this must have been like right after she passed away, because I only had 6 more months in college after she passed away. But I miss you like crazy. I miss talking to my mommy. Tell me when you're coming back home. And don't even get me started on the home thing. But like, LaToya Luckett said on the Terrell Grice show, talking about the growing through the difficult time post Destiny's Child. She's like, therapy is what helped me. Therapy. That's how I can still smile. And I say that as well for myself in relation to the song, when they would say, I miss you being my baby, and I would say, I miss talking to my mommy. Because therapy, and I'm reminded of the time that in 2013, so I was diagnosed with MS in 2010. In 2013, I went to this natural healer. Kevin and I actually went. And he mentioned part of MS people's struggle is they have some very deep-seated struggles that they haven't worked through yet. And I remember his wife was actually asking me just general get-to-know-you questions. And then it's like she found my sore spot that I had been burying since 2006. And she asked me about my mom. And her line of questions about my mom, I just started wailing uncontrollably, which showed me that I was like, wow, I've really not worked through this. And that's why I go to therapy, BetterHelp. And I see Alexis Harbison. Yes, therapy, because I realized I had some stuff that really showed me that I had to work through some things. Like, I'm still not perfect because I'm still welling up right now with emotions, but I'm not trying. I'm not going for it, especially like that, uncontrollably like I was in 2013. I'll share this little piece of okay, and then I'll close. For whomever it may help, one thing that a former mental health counselor told me about my mom is she was like, well, Aaron, from a quantum physics standpoint, energy never dies. It just transfers to something else. So technically, your mom is still here with us and her energy, just in a different form. And that actually gave me a little bit of peace. And I'm not going to lie, honestly, my granddad, who was Jehovah's Witness, preached this, that gave the talk, because Jehovah's Witnesses use different lingo, gave the talk when my mom passed away. And his Jehovah's Witness talk of people just going to sleep, then be awakened, that actually gave me comfort more so. Anyway, for whatever it's worth, different things have worked together to help. All right, hashtag VerseTV family. Peace. Hashtag VerseTV.com. Stay blessed. Have a marvelous, outstanding day. You can find us all over social media. Hashtag VERSTEAB. You can also go to the website, VERSTEAB.com. Talk to you later. Peace. Hashtag VerseTV.com. Stay blessed. All right.